could Aussie yen be breaking out of this little pattern here to the upside? That's what I'm going to discuss in this video. I've just been in the live stream and we were talking about Aussie yen and the potential for this market to move higher. Now, the reason why I'm kind of looking at this position right now and this potential breakout pattern, one reason is mainly down to the idea that we have a potential opportunity coming from the currency strength meter. So I can see here that the Australian dollar last week gained to +4, which gained 5 places. And I've got the Japanese yen here that actually decreased from the reversal zone of +7 to +3, which is -4. So on a currency strength and weakness idea right now, I can see the idea that this market moved higher. However, I do have some questions over the Japanese yen side of things. Now, today we had the Australian interest rate decision. They cut interest rates by 25 basis points to 4.1%. But Governor Michelle Bullock basically described the fact that she made very clear that the chances of the RBA cutting rates further in the future are not as confident as what the market is suggesting right now. The reason being is because they are really worried about the inflation situation. Now, inflation in Australia is above the target range. The target range for the RBA, they said, was between 2 and 3%. So they want to see CPI basically, or inflation, coming in below that 2 to 3% target range. They're not there right now. Now, this gives us an idea as traders. We could say, well, okay, we need to see Australian CPI coming in lower. What if it doesn't come in lower? What if it starts spiking higher? One of the reasons that the RBA governor gave for this was the fact that the labour market has been stronger than anticipated. So a stronger labour force doesn't necessarily lead to a weaker economy, right? It leads to a stronger economy because that means there are more jobs available to people. That means there are more jobs created, essentially leading to more spending in an economy, potentially. So they're potentially going to leave, potentially going to leave rates higher for longer. That begs the question, can we see a little bit of strength in the Australian dollar in the near term? Again, there is a good reason for that. My only worry with the yen is the fact that I believe that the Japanese yen could be one of the stronger performing currencies this year. That doesn't mean that prices can't rise, okay? Because they absolutely can. And if we look at the weekly chart here on the technicals, there are some really interesting levels to look out for at the moment. So what I can see is that price came down towards this 95 area, which was these lows that formed in September of last year. And we've rebounded. We had a really strong push away in the market. So that's telling me that there are buyers down at this level, right? Buyers have come in, stepped in at this point. Now, if I was a buyer, where would I want to go and target? Well, I'd want to go and target this resistance zone. Why? Because this is where sellers have been active in the past. As well, think about it like this. If I was a hedge fund and I had lots of money to put into the market, where is the best place for me to do that at, right? It's an area where selling has been in the past, but it's also an area where I'm going to get good value for my trade, which could be towards this kind of 98, 99 resistance band that we have in here. So that begs the question, on a short-term time basis, could it actually be an opportunity for Aussie yen to pop up into this 98 area for then a potential move back down into this 95? Because remember, currencies move on interest rate expectations. If we are going to see the Bank of Japan hike interest rates, then for me, that's a positive. But if we're also going to see the RBA hold interest rate, if assuming inflation does remain a little bit sticky, this pair actually might just be stuck in a bit of a trading range. That is potentially what's developing right now between the 95 and the 99 area right now. So I think for me, I like the idea of playing this range because with ranges, there are clear defined areas of support and resistance. So I don't actually mind this situation here. Now, if we go into the 4-hour chart, This is what I'm looking at right now. This little triangle pattern that's been formed. So we came to the support. We had head and shoulders pattern. Price broke out of that. Now price is finding a bit of a base towards this 96 handle. We're getting these lower highs, but we're not really making any lower lows. So I feel that if we take out one of these highs here above 97, this could be a fuel for the sellers that have been active here to exit those positions, potentially have a switch to buyers being wanting to get involved in the market with a potential move up to 98. So that's what I'm looking for here on Aussie yen right now. There could be some scope to move higher. I like the idea that price is in this trading range right now because it kind of makes sense for this market to range if we are going to see two stronger currencies. The Australian dollar might get a bit more of a boost because it's had recent data, it's had a recent decision from the central bank, whereas the Bank of Japan haven't said anything for a moment. So there could be some repositioning on the yen, and that could lead to a little bit more upside in the short term. Hopefully that makes sense. If it does, please leave the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next video.